English version. Baba's handi, disrespect of shrine, kala or hodgepodge, cup of buttermilk. In the last chapter, we describe Baba's Javedi's procession. In this, we take up Baba's handi, that is cooking pot, and some other subjects. Preliminary. O blessed Sai Guru Sai, we bow to you, who have given happiness to the whole world, accomplished the welfare of the devotees, and have removed the affliction of those who have resorted to your feet. Being very liberal and being protector and savior of the bhaktas who surrender themselves to you, you incarnate yourself in this world to oblige the people and do them good. The liquid essence of pure self is poured into the mold of Brahma, and out of this has come out the crest jewel of Saint Sai. This Sai is Atma Rama himself. He is the abode of perfect divine bliss. Having himself attained all objects in life, he made his devotees desireless and free. Let us go to Baba's Handi. Different sadhanas, that is, means of accomplishments, are prescribed in our scriptures for different ages. Tapa, that is penance, is recommended for Krita age. Jnana, that is knowledge, for Treta age. Yajna, that is sacrifice, for Dwapara age. And Dhana, that is charity, for Kali, the present age. All of the charities giving food is the best one. We are much perturbed when we get no food at noon. Other beings feel similarly under circumstances. Knowing this, he who gives food to the poor and hungry is the best donor or charitable person. The Taittiriya Upanishad says that food is Brahma. From food all the creatures are born, and having been born, by food they live, and having departed into food again they enter. When an aditi, that is uninvited guest, comes to your door at noon, it is our bounden duty to welcome him by giving him food. Other kinds of charities via giving away wealth, property, and clothes, etc., require some discrimination. But in the matter of food, no such consideration is necessary. Let anybody come to our door at noon, he should be served forthwith. And if lame, crippled, blind, and deceased paupers come, they should be fed first, and the able bodied persons and for our relations afterwards. The merit of feeding the former is much greater than that of feeding the latter. Other kinds of charities are imperfect without this annadhana, that is, giving of food. As stars without the moon, a necklace without its central medal, the crown without pinnacle, a tank without lotus, bhajan without love, a married lady without the kumkum mark, singing without a sweet voice, or milk without salt, just as varan, that is pulse soup, excels all other dishes, anadana is the best of all merits. Let us now see how Baba prepared food and distributed it. It has been stated before that Baba requires very little food for himself, and what little he wanted was obtained by begging from few houses. But when he took it into his mind to distribute food to all, he made all preparations from beginning to end himself. He depended on nobody and troubled none in this matter. First, he went to the bazaar and brought all the things, corn, flour, spices, etc., for cash. He did also grinding. In the open courtyard of Masjid, he arranged a big hearth, and after lighting a fire underneath, kept a handi over it with a proper measure of water. There were two kinds of handi, one small and one other big. The former provided food for 50 persons, the later for 100. Sometimes he cooked mitte chawal, that is sweet rice, and other times pulava with meat. At times in the boiling varan, that is soup, he let in small balls of or thick or flat breads of wheat flour. He pounded the spices on a stone slab and put thin pulverized spices into the cooking pot. He took all the pains to make the dishes very palatable. He prepared ambhil, that is, by boiling jaggery flour in water and mixing it with buttermilk. With the food, he distributed this ambil to all alike. To see whether the food was properly cooked or not, Baba rolled up the sleeve of his kafni and put his bare arm in the boiling cauldron without the least fear, and churned or moved the whole mass from side to side and up and down. There was no mark of burn on his arm, no fear on his face. When the cooking was over, Baba got the pods in the masjid and had them duly consecrated by the Maulvi. First, he sent part of the food as prasad to Mahalsapati and Tatya Patil, and then he served the remaining contents of his own hand to all the poor and helpless people to their heart's content. Really blessed and fortunate must be those people who got food prepared by Baba and served by him. Somebody may raise a doubt here and ask, did Baba distribute vegetable and animal food as prasad alike to all his devotees? The answer is plain and simple. Those who are accustomed to take animal food were given food from the handi as prasad, and those who were not so accustomed, they are not allowed to touch it. He never created in them any wish or desire to indulge in this food. There is a principle well established: when a guru himself gives anything as prasad, the disciple who thinks and doubts whether it is acceptable or otherwise goes to peridiction. In order to see how any disciple has imbibed his principle, Baba at times proposed tests. For instance, on Ekadashi day, he gave some rupees to Dada Kelkar and asked him to go in person to Kuralha to get mutton from there. This Dada Kelkar was Orthodox Brahmin and kept all Orthodox manners in his life. He knew that offering wealth, grain, and cloths, etc., to Sadguru was not enough, but the implicit obedience to and prompt compliance with his order was the real dakshina that pleased him most. So Dada Kelkar dusted himself and started for the place. Then Baba called him back and said, don't go yourself, but send somebody. Then Dada sent servant Pandu for the purpose. Seeing him starting, Baba asked Dada to call him back and cancel that program. On another occasion, Baba asked Dada to see how the saltish pulava mutton dish was done. The latter said casually and formally that it was all right. Then Baba said on to him, neither you have seen it with your eyes nor tasted it with your tongue. Then how could you say that it was all good? Just take out the lid and see. Saying this, Baba caught him in his arm and thrust it into the pot and added, draw out your arm and taking a ladle, put some quantity in the dish without caring for your orthodoxy and without blustering. When a wave of real love rises in mother's mind, she pinches her child with her hand, and when it begins to cry and shout, she hugs it close to her bosom. Similarly, Baba, in a true motherly way, pinched Dada Kelkar in this fashion. Really, no saint or guru will ever force his orthodox disciple to eat forbidden food and defile himself thereby. The handi business went on for some time till 1910 and was stopped thereafter. As stated before, Das Ganu spread the fame of Baba by his kirtans far and wide in the Bombay Presidency, and people from parts of the country began to flock to Shirdi, which became in a few days a place of pilgrimage. The devotees brought them various articles for presentation and offered various dishes and food as Naivedya. The quantity of Naivedya offered by them was so much that the fakirs and paupers could feed themselves to their heart's content, leaving some surplus behind. Before stating how Naivedya was distributed, we shall refer to Nana Sahib Chandorkar's story showing Baba's regard and respect for local shrines and deities. Let's go to Nana Sahib, disrespect of a shrine. By drawing inferences of or guessing in their own way, some people said that Sai was Brahmin, some said that he was Muslim. Really, he belonged to no caste. No one knew definitely what he was born and in what community and who were his parents. Then how could he be a Muslim or Brahmin? If he were a Muslim, how could he keep dhuni, fire, ever burning in the masjid? How could there be Tulsi Vrindavan there? How could he allow the blowing of conches and ringing of bells and playing of the musical instrument? How could he allow the different forms of Hindu worship there? Had he been Muslim, he could have had pierced ears, and how could he be spent money from his pocket of repairing Hindu temples? On contrary, he never tolerated the slightest disrespect to Hindu shrines and deities. Once Nana Sahib Chandorkar came to Shirdi with his sadhu husband of sister-in-law, Mr. Bini Valle. When they went to masjid and sat before Baba talking, the latter suddenly got angry with Nana Sahib and said, "You are so long in my company and how do you behave like this?" Nana Sahib first did not understand anything and humbly requested Baba to explain. Baba asked him when he came to Kopargaon and how he came to Shirdi from thence. Nana Sahib then at once realized his mistake. He usually worshipped the shrine of Datta on the banks of Godavari at Kopargaon on the way to Shirdi, but this time he dissuaded his relation, who was a Datta Bhakta, from going to that shrine to avoid delay and drove straight. He confessed all this to Baba and told him that while bathing in Godavari, a big thorn went to his foot and gave him much trouble. Baba said that it was slight punishment to be met and warned him to be more careful in future. Let us go to Kala hodgepodge. to revert to the distribution of Naivedya after the Arati was over and after Baba sent away all the people with Udi and blessings. He went inside and sat in his bag to Nimbar for meals, with two rows of bhaktas, one on each side. Bhaktas who brought Naivedya thrust inside their dishes containing a variety of food such as puris, mande, polish, basandi, sansa, fine, rice, etc., and kept waiting outside for prasad consecrated by Baba. All the foods were mixed in a hot pot and placed before Baba. He offered it to all God and consecrated it. Then portions of the same were given to the persons waiting outside, and the rest was served to the inner party with Baba at the center. The Bhakta sitting in two rows then dined to their heart's content. Baba asked Shama and Nana Sahib Nimonkar daily to serve consecrated food to all persons sitting inside and look to their individual needs and comforts. This they did very carefully and willingly. Every morsel of the food thus partaken gave them nutrition and satisfaction. Such sweet, lovely, and consecrated food it was, ever auspicious and ever holy. Let us go to cup of buttermilk story. Once Hemant Pant had eaten his full in his company when Baba offered him a cup of buttermilk. Its vile appearance pleased him, but he was afraid that there was no space inside for it. He, however, took a sip which proved very tasty. Seeing this faltering attitude, Baba said, "Drink it all. You won't get any such opportunity hereafter." He drank it off then, but found that Baba's words were prophetic, for he passed away soon. Now, readers, we have certainly to thank Hemant Pant. He drank the cup of buttermilk, but has supplied with sufficient quantity of nectar in the form of Baba's Leelas. Let us drink cups and cups of this nectar and be satisfied and happy. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Meet you with the 39th chapter next week. Sai Ram.